this Memorex. Let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. Let's see. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna lose my connection again. Yeah. Okay, that seems to be like a better stream. Well, hey, it's been a few days. It's been crazy here at my house. And normally, this is where I sit and do videos because this is the only place to do a video. But lately, I'm taking care of a couple of more people. And they hang out here all day into the night. And so I don't have any place that's, like unpeopled, because I like to do the videos, but I like to do it unpeopled. And we have some mosquitoes, but luckily I have something for mosquitoes I'll share with you pretty quick. And I also have a piece of leather that I made for an old knife, and I'll share that with you. And then the elephant in the room, I think is the elephant in the room, is time flying by for you? Do you wake up on Monday and the next thing you know it's Friday? Or do you get up on Saturday and then you wonder where your weekend went? Do you have that? Like, I have that going on with me. Like, even during the day, I'll get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee or two. Speaking of coffee, have a cup of coffee or two, and before I know it, it's 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Like, hours fly by, and it seems like I just barely finished my cup of coffee that I started at 6:30 a.m. Like, where did the day go? Where did it go? Like, how come time is flying by? Another thing I want to talk about is 1111 or 111 or 1111. Are you guys seeing numbers like that? 222, 2222, 333, 444, 555. I never see 666. Oh, I guess you can't see 666, I guess, right? But I do see 555. Yeah, there's no 666, is there? Yeah, well, here's to time flying by and why. Why is time flying by? I'm starting to wonder if I'm even live. I cannot tell. It says I am. It says I'm live. So before I get into these really heavy topics, first I want to share. Let's say I started this thing 5 minutes ago. As you guys know, I sit outside with the flies and the mosquitoes. I can deal with flies, but I have a really hard time with mosquitoes. They're sucky, if you know what I mean. Mosquitoes suck, literally. And I fight those guys all the time. Well, I came across something that it wasn't real expensive, and I've done everything. Like, these are the things, like, if you guys know about mosquitoes, let's look at some of this stuff, right? So here's one. Hello mosquito repellent. I know everything's backwards, I'm sorry, but it says shake well. I don't know what's in it. It works until it dries on your skin. Once it dries on your skin, fair game for the mosquitoes. Then you have this stuff, right? I went through at least a dozen cans this summer of these things, and you have your deep woods off. This one works pretty good. The only bad thing is you got to take a shower after you use these, any of these, really. Like, you smell like crap, and you don't want to get in bed with all this stuff all over you, and it stinks, and it makes you all feel all sticky and tacky and everything. So I started looking at other ways to get rid of mosquitoes, and I found something, and it's starting to work. I can see it starting to work right now. It gives me a 15 by 15 about circle, long as it's not windy, that no mosquitoes, no flies, no gnats, no any kind of flying bug will get into it. I mean, I got it for the mosquitoes, but I didn't know that it also drove out flies and other things. And it smokes a little bit, but I'm telling you, for all the people that like to go bigfooting, camping, fishing, even sit out on your patio, this thing is excellent. I've been using it now probably 2 months, and I can't believe it. Like, there's no mosquitoes. You could see them flying around on the outskirt of the 15-foot circle diameter, but they will not come. And even if they do get near you, they're not aggressive. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know what it does to mosquitoes, but it works. And now I'm going to show you what it is. Like, it's called a thermocell, thermocell backpacker. And I haven't tried the other ones, but it even comes with a little bag. Let me see. I'll get the little bag out here. It comes in a little bag, and it burns. It has a little flame. I know you can't read it. It's backwards. But this thing works excellent. And I have it right here. I keep it right next to me. But it's a little, you can see the smoke coming off of it, I think. Yeah? It's just a little bit windy, but it doesn't matter. Like, the wind is not bad. So I still have my 15 feet of protection. The mosquitoes will not get near you. Now, the little pad, this little pad, they're replaceable. You have to buy replacements. I had one that lasts 6 hours, and then after that, they were about 4 hours. And they say they're good for 4 hours. When they turn white, that's when it's time to change them out. But I guarantee this thing. And then you just use butane. And I have the butane propane mix. I couldn't find just straight up butane. And it has inside there, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see here. Inside there, let me see if I can shield it. There it is. There's a little bitty flame in there. It's just a little teeny one. And it heats that pad up, and it starts to smoke, and the mosquitoes, it takes about 10 or 15 minutes for it to get going. And now the breeze is blowing this way, so I'm going to set it over here. Set it back over here. And the mosquitoes will stay away from me. Absolutely excellent. And it doesn't weigh hardly anything for you backpackers. Comes in a little bag. You can throw all the little, I don't know what you call them, the little refill pads. You could throw a bunch of them in here. And then this tank right here, I've been using it a month. I went through about 17 of those pads. So 4 times 17 is how many minutes, or no, hours. So 4 times 17, that's how many hours. And this thing is still full. I can't even tell anything's gone out of it. That little bitty flame in there, the little bitty little flame, hardly burns any of the butane. I absolutely love it. I haven't had a mosquito bite in days, unless the pad turns white, and then then it's fair game for the mosquitoes again, right? But immediately you start noticing they start buzzing your eyes and stuff like that. Hi, Thelma Lewis. I won't be disappointed. Any leather's good leather. I want to thank you so much. Any leather's good leather. Even if it's hard and dried out and won't unroll. I'm the what would you call it? I can force my will onto the leather. The only thing that I might not be able to force my will for the leather to do is how it absorbs dyes. I just saw a mosquito go by. Boy, he's out of here. I got him. Ha! He didn't get it. He didn't get away fast enough, but he wasn't after me. Kind of weird. I love the mosquito thing, but yeah, I've had some. I go yard sailing. I guess that's what you call it, and I buy. I try to find tools, leather tools, older leather tools, because when my dad passed away, he probably had a couple of $1,000 of tools, stamps that you can't buy anymore, a ruby bladed swivel knife that came out in the probably the middle 70s, somewhere in there. And he had two of them, and they were his prized possessions. But all of his tools were in a big tackle box. That's the mallet, everything. And after he passed away, one of his friends was over, telling everybody how sorry he was. He passed and he's going to miss his best friend and all that. And then when he walked out the door, nobody noticed, but he packed out those leather tools. And we didn't see him, so we didn't know. And then he moved. He moved from California to Oklahoma. And I found out from his son that he sold all those tools off, and he made like $2,500 or something like that, and that helped him move. But all that old tools gone. I mean, it sucks, but I think my mom would have gave it to him at that point if he would have asked for it, but he didn't. But it's still, that's not cool, not cool. So I've been on a search. I search eBay, and everybody thinks everything's so expensive. Have you noticed that? Like, it's like they want to sell stuff for retail that's 30 years old. And sure, it might have like a little collector thing on it, but how many leather smiths do you know? Right? There's not a lot. So I'm always on the lookout, but I buy a lot of old leather, and some of it's been sitting around in a box or in a closet for years, and then when I get it, it is like stuck in the position that it was rolled up in, or however it is in there. And I'll take that stuff and I'll start working it and work it and work it until it does what I want it to do. And so far, the leather is zero, and I'm all the wins. That leather loses every single time. And in fact, this thing right here. Okay, this is an old knife. This is called Oh, cool. Well, I love you so much. This is right here. This is an old Hunter. It's probably from the 70s. And it's a sword brand. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. But it says sword brand, handmade. And it's a model 26. I'm going to sell it. It has two blades. It's a Camillus. Made in the USA. A lot of knives nowadays aren't made in the USA. But it's a folding Hunter. The main blade doesn't have a lot of snap, but if you're 40 years old, you wouldn't either. 50 years old, right? I think it's over 50 years old. And this is the secondary blade. It has a lot of snap. You could hear that. That's how the other one, I haven't cleaned it or did anything to it. The other blade probably would snap like that if I cleaned it out, cleaned all the goo out of it. But I don't want to do anything to devalue it. See all that junk in there? It's like if I cleaned all that out, I think it would get some of its snap back. But these are real popular. They were really popular in the 70s. It's not real. It's like a Delrin plastic. So it's not really stag. It's not cracked. The handles aren't cracked. It's really in good shape, really. I found it at a pawn shop. The guy had $75 on it. He's my friend from high school. He had $75 on it, and I picked out 3 or 4 knives. I got a Buck 102 and this, and a couple of case pocket knives. And because I bought that many, all of them were, I think the least amount was the case. It was like $40. It's almost dinner time. Oh man, I'll be over there I'll be there post haste. That sounds so good. I wish I could. In fact, I want to meet all you guys, like for reals meet. Let's go fishing and let's go like with Daytona. I want to go to Daytona Beach and go look for some gold, like I want to hang out with everybody. But yeah, and then you made it on a live, huh? I like your videos. Are so comforting. I watch them all the time, man. I fall asleep sometimes with the sound of the waves, and you have a voice that, let's go Bigfoot hunting angle. Oh, hey, my 2 favorite things. Yeah, for reals. And then the third one is knives and leather and knives. But so I bought this because I wanted to make a leather pouch for it. So this is some old leather that I got, and you can tell, like, this is what I was talking about when leather, some places the leather, see, it's skin, so it doesn't absorb the dye. Like sometimes when you get newer newer leathers and it's not all dried out and stuff, it won't be all splotchy like that. It'll come out real even like this. See how that's all even? It's same leather though, but it dries out, and some places on your skin are hard or denser, and then some not so dense. And so the denser places doesn't take the dye like it does in the more less dense or softer part of the hide. But I made this, and in my usual thing, no metal touches the knife. So I put this post on here, and I put it on this piece of leather, and then I sew that on there. If I didn't do that, the piece that's on the other side of the leather that holds the post, it would be banging on that knife. This knife is 50 years old. I don't want to do that to it. And I like these better than snaps, especially for like old knives. And I made it kind of tight. But I'm gonna sell this bad boy, all handmade, all hand sewn, double saddle stitch. I make the holes with a sewing awl, a little blade, so it's one hole at a time, one stitch at a time, right? It takes me several hours to sew these things. But yeah, that's what I got. I think I'm gonna put it on eBay. I don't know how much to sell it for. Like the real beat up Camillus Model 26 folding hunters, the real beat up ones are going for like $60. But the ones that are really nice with the box and the paperwork and the little case that it comes with, Those are going for like 150 up to 200, depending. Like some of them don't have the paperwork. Some of them have the box, but they don't have the leather case. And I'm thinking $100 for this, because I think the knife is in good shape, pretty good shape. The handles aren't cracked. It's not really beat up. It doesn't. I think I think this is kind of not so bright on it, but you can still see sword brand handmade. Let's see, sword brand handmade. I can't get it to focus. But yeah, that's my latest little thing I've done, and I want to make a little money. So, okay, blade up. You always want to face the blade up. If you're right-handed, you want the blade up, so you put it in like this. That way, when you pull it out, when you're pulling it out, it's ready to be opened. You don't have to go. Right? So remember, when you're putting your knife away, think about how you're putting it in. So this one's going to be blade up, right? The top of the blade up, and then facing away from me. That way, when I pull it out, it's ready for me to open. I know a lot of people don't pay attention to that, and then they get it and they're going to use it, and then it's, they have to situate it. See how it got that dark spot right there? And right there. But this was really old leather. It was sitting in their closet for 4 years. Some of the top, it got all splotchy. Hey, Biff, what's up? I'm wondering if the inside where the blade rests, using a water pick to clean, like high pressure. See, I thought about that, or one of those little vibrator dish, or Sonic thing, and you put water in it, or you can put ram oil or something like that in it, and then set it in there and let it sonically clean it for a little while, and then you come out with a can of compressed air and blow it in there and blow it all out, with the blade forward. See, if you get used to that, that works. I carry, every day I carry something, a buck, or, the buck folding hunter. I have 3 of them, and lately I've been carrying the auto. You hear that, BZ? I've been carrying the auto. You know what I found out about the auto? And I was all worried about it and shipping it and all that to my house. I was over at this big hardware store, Ace Hardware store, and they had a little section, like a room where you could go in, and it was all like BB guns and knives. And they had a glass case, and they had case, one side was case, and then they had Schrade, and so on, right? And they had all the models of them, like all laid out. Well, they had all the autos for sale at this hardware store, and I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, what? You can't sell those in California. And she's the manager, right, of the whole store, and she's manning the case while the guy's on break. She's like, if you can't carry him, I can't sell him. She goes, but I can sell him. I'm like, what? No, Sure enough, come to find out, somehow in this county, you can carry an auto. So now I'm packing that auto everywhere, and my plan is, if anybody ever questions me, tell them, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I bought it at the Ace Hardware in town, the big one. Like, go buy your own. Like, go get one. Even though I still think it's not, you're not supposed to, I did. Yeah, so, and then, like for you guys, don't forget the mosquito thing. This thing is excellent. Chases away flies, black flies, mosquitoes. I thought it was only for mosquitoes, but every kind of flying bug, even moths at night would fly around the light. This gets rid of it. You can see it starting to really crank on now. You can see that little flame in there. And it's smoking a little bit. This thing works excellent for mosquitoes. Let's not forget about that. Yeah, so have you guys noticed time flying by? I mean, absolutely, like outrageously zipping by, like just crazy, like months flying by, weeks, days, hours, minutes, freaking flying by. For the mosquito thing, man, this will work on your patio. Anybody really. This is called a thermocell. I know it's backwards, but it's called a thermocell backpacker, and it uses butane, and it has the on and off switch, and then this is the igniter for that little flame, and then it heats that little pad up. When the pad turns white, it's done, right? But you'll know when it's done because the mosquitoes will come back and the flies will come back and the moths and the gnats and everything will come back. I just started it about 20 minutes ago. Really, I'm handicapped. Maybe it is legal. My arm's broken. Yeah. So yeah, I can say I just need it like that. But yeah, this thing right here, BZ, excellent. And I've tried everything. I was showing earlier, I have the wind's blowing this way, so I have it sit right here. And if you can tell, it's smoking. I don't know if you can see it, but let's see. It's actually sending out little wisps of smoke. It doesn't have a smell. I didn't notice any. These little things right here, they last 4 hours. I don't know, and I've tried my everything. Besides turning the camera around, it's like the selfie cam. And for some reason, I can't make it be anything but backwards. I don't know why. But the other side, I can, but then I can't see the camera shot. Like, I can't line it up, where I'm all in or all out of the photo. But yeah, these things last 4 hours. They turn white and then they're over. They're done. And it just slides. They're like little pads. I have some, but I only brought one out with me. Sorry. But I'll show them at a later date. Yeah, I've been trying everything to get this to go not backwards. There's even a little place in the little gear. I can't remember what you call it. The settings, and you go in there and into the camera app settings, and you can even flip this little toggle, electronic little toggle looking thing, to where supposedly it won't be backwards. But I've tried it both ways, and I've tried other things, and I can't get it to do it. And I can't believe there's no mosquitoes. I'm totally, every day I've been using this thing like, oh man, a couple of weeks, maybe a month almost, and I can't believe how well I get eaten up out here. And I see them coming in, and then all of a sudden they turn around and go right back out. And normally they're flying and they're buzzing me and they're biting through my pants and all kinds of stuff. But that mosquito thing, I think it's $36. It's light. I think it's only 4 ounces. So backpackers, it fits in this little bag, and you can put the little pads in it, and you're good to go. I wish the camera wasn't backwards. Yeah. Yeah, so I've been noticing, and I was just wondering if you guys are too, noticing how fast time is. It's ridiculous. Days are just like, where did they go? Like 1 minute you're in Monday and you're go to the doctor or something, and then the next thing you know, it's Friday. And then it's Friday and you're looking forward to doing these things on the weekend, and you get up early in the morning on Saturday. Yeah. I shared some pictures with the wife. Maybe she'll share some with you. I have some more too I want to share with you guys from the last 2 visits. And I don't know why I didn't even think of doing that before. Maybe I did, I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, I was telling my wife I'm turning into a flake. The older you get, you're like more of a flake. She's like, "What?" And I'm in there like my skin was flaking like everywhere between my eyes, along my, like, the older you get, you turn into a flake. I'm just a big flake. So I have some cream the doctor gave me for it because I was complaining about being a flake, and he gave me this stuff and it works. But I'm not that guy. I don't put creams on me and shaving stuff. I don't even wear, I don't have a wedding ring either. I'm not a jewelry or whatever. Here comes a fly. He won't last. He'll be gone. He wants to land on the camera though. But yeah, getting old sucks. And now that time is flying by, it really sucks. If you know what I'm saying. Like, I want it to slow down. I remember back in the day where days seem like, even a Saturday, I'd go out and on my ranch, and I'd be working in the worm farm, and it would seem like that day just dragged on and on and on, and you're like something you got to do tomorrow and you're looking forward to it, and it would take forever for night to come, and then you're thinking, dang, I need to go to sleep, because if I'm sleeping it seems like morning comes faster. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'll have a cup of coffee. I don't know what time it is where you are. I think it's like 3 or 4 here. 3, something like that. But I'll get up at 6 in the morning, have a cup of coffee, make another cup of coffee, and then I'll look at the clock and it's noon. Later, Brian. You have a good one, man. Have a good dinner. I'm jealous. I want some of that. I think tonight we're having wiener wraps or something like that. You get those kind of meals when you got a lot of kids running around. Easy, quick macaroni and wiener wraps or whatever. Doesn't it sound delicious? Yeah, it's not. And there's another thing besides time flying by. I mean, it really is seeming to be flying by. Months, days, quick, real quick. I don't know if it's happening to you guys, but for me, the numbers 1 like 11 or 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. I'm really terrible about having my phone with me. I'll leave it in the house. I'll be out here all day and I'll leave it in the house, and people get mad at me because I don't answer texts and I don't answer my phone, and I do drive-by stuff, like I call it drive-by Facebook. Like, I'll go inside and for some water or something like that, take a little break, and I'll grab my phone, and when I look at the time, it's 11:11 or 1:11 or 4:44, 3:33, 2:22, and I'll take a screenshot of it. I have hundreds of screenshots of 111, 1111, and so on. What does that mean? And why is it happening so often? Like a couple of times a day. Now, my granddaughter, she told me, hey, you're just, it's like 2:20 and it's going to be 2:22. You're just waiting for it, and then take a screenshot. No, I'm not. I don't have the patience for that. I'm not going to wait 2 or 3 minutes or even 5 minutes or 10 minutes, even an hour. I'm not going to set it there and wait for it to click so I could do a screenshot. I'm not. I'm telling you, when I go in and look at my clock, it's these numbers. And almost like I would say on average 2 times a day. And then at night, you wake up in the night to hit the throne room and it's 333. You grab your phone to see what time it is. 333, 444. It's like, what? I mean, I quickly screenshot it. But I never noticed that happening. This is like happening so much, it's becoming an enigma, like the time flying by. Like it seems like those two things are somehow related because it's time, right? You're looking at the 111, and I don't know what it means. I've kind of looked at it like they call it an angel number. The 111 or 1111 is like an angel number, or number 1 is an angel number. I didn't look all of them up. I kind of feel like that's getting into like a witchcraft type thing or magic things. I'm not into that. And I don't want to get myself off into being deceived and making me miss what I think is really coming down the pike here, especially after what DJT just did, right? And you guys have been talking about that on your shows, BZ, like the political stuff is getting biblical, absolutely biblical. I mean, this thing that he just did for the Middle East, I started researching into the Bible more, like I'm not the Bible answer man by any stretch, okay? I've been reading it for, I don't know, since 1986. And I've read the Bible over probably 7 or 8 times now. That doesn't mean I know the Bible. That doesn't mean I even can quote scriptures, right? But only I'm familiar with all the stories, and when I hear something I can tell you all about, and I don't even know their names, like the queen that married the king and saved Israel. I think it was Sheba, or I don't know. But if somebody talks about it, I'll know. I know the story good enough, and I could talk about it. Some things I know better than others, like prophecy, especially Revelations. I don't understand it, but I'm real familiar with it. Like what's going on right now, it says when they're saying peace and safety, and then they sign this agreement, and it says nations, plural, will sign a peace deal for Israel and the Muslims. When they do that, sudden destruction. That isn't what we're hearing, but that's what it says. It says about that. It also is a sign that the Lord is about to take his people to the wedding party for 7 years, which he calls 7 days, but it's 7 years, right? And that would be the tribulation. So we're right there. Right? We're like on the doorstep of this. Now you tie that with Ohio, you tie that with 1111 222, and how fast time is flying by, and it kind of, I think, is related. Those are all related, I think. I would say the time that we're living in right now has a lot to do with the 1111 and how fast time is flying by, because Jesus said that if he didn't shorten the days for his return on the earth, there would be nothing to come back to. That we would destroy ourselves and destroy the earth with it. Like that we're that bad, right? And I believe we are. So I'm wondering if when he said shorten the days, does that mean he's speeding up time? Like making it faster? And is the 111 stuff, is that a sign like of what time we're in? Like time, right? What time we're in and the times we live in. Is using the clock and the numbers, is he telling me that I'm right? That the things that I think might be going on and where we are in time according to prophecy, is that telling me I'm right? I don't know, but I know some other people that are seeing the 111 and they think like they have a question that they're putting out to the universe, right? They're really not believing in God or anything, but they do believe in a higher power and they believe in spiritual stuff. And so when they ask the question to the universe and then they look at the clock and it says 1111 or something to that, numbers like that, they think that's their answer, that they're on the right track. Yes. But like, what happens if it's 1112? Does that mean no? Like, I know it's rare, but I think it's more deeper than answering a question to the universe. I think it's way deeper. I don't think it has anything to do with what you're doing. I don't think it has anything to do with what I'm thinking. Any questions I might have for the universe or the creator or whatever you want to call it. I think it's more like, here's your sign. Just like when you go on and type in how many comets are there right now. How many comets? Do you know how many there are? 17 comets. Unheard of. Like the most is around 3 at any given time. And in the Bible, 1 is a sign that something's going down, right? I mean, it doesn't take a dozen of them or 5 of them. 1 comet is a sign that everybody can see with their eyes. Right now, you can see 2 with your eyes. So it's kind of leading me to think that all these comets are just another, here's your sign, right? Here's your sign of what time we're living in. So then we go a little bit further. We go with constellations. There is descriptions of alignments of constellations in Revelation and other places, Ezekiel and some other places, Daniel, that are rare, right? It says when you see the signs in the heavens that God put the sun and the moon and the stars and the planets and everything, that's for him to send messages, like a sign, right? Like, here's your sign. Since, I would say, I think it was 2014, these things started happening. And it says lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, they're all for signs. So in 2014, there was 4 blood moons, and they all were on a feast day, a Jewish feast day, like their high holy days, right? And there was 4 of them, and they all landed on a high holy day. And on 2015, it did it again on the very same days again. Now, I'm not saying like it was the same day, like Tuesday in February, the second Tuesday of February. No, it landed right. Like every year, these holidays land on different days. They're not always like sometimes 16th, sometimes the 17th, 18th, 19th. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't always land on, say, the 10th every year. So these things happened again in 2015 on the same feast days as the last year. Like, is that a sign? Like, here's your sign. We're coming into something, right? We're coming into something. And then in 2017, the constellation lined up that only happened a couple of times in history, and it heralds Jesus. It heralds Jesus. Like the last time that it lined up like that, Jesus was born. And I think it lined up one more time when Israel became a nation. And then it lined up again on 2017. And everybody's going to say, well, Israel becoming a nation isn't Jesus, a sign of Jesus. Oh, yes, it is. Because there's another, like I call it, a freaking huge billboard, right? Israel becoming a nation is probably the biggest sign that you can get of what time you're living in, right? What time of prophecy are you in? Hi, Paul. How you doing? So Israel becoming a nation, that was the big one. That was when you see Israel become a nation in one day, which never happened in history ever after it's not been a country for 2,000 years. Not only that, but they also have their original language. Like, there's so many things of Israel that normally that language would be lost after 2,000 years. And it said, when you see that generation that happened in will not pass away before he comes back. So it's heralding Jesus, just like the constellation did when he was born, just like the constellation did in 2017. So it's heralding the return of Jesus. I don't know what day or hour. I'm hopeful that it's today, but I don't know. I just know that we're in that time, and that all these things are happening all at the same time, right? It's a weird thing, time, huh? Like all these things are happening all at once. And the biggest signpost of all is Israel becoming a nation. And then it starts talking about Israel. It starts talking about when you see Israel blossom like flowers in a field. Israel didn't blossom anything when it became a nation. It was a desert, dried up piece of shit, right? Who would even want to live there? But today, using drip irrigation and all kinds of technology, it's blooming like crazy. And they even have part of their income for economy is the things they grow and sell around the world. And they're blooming like crazy now. So like that's just another sign of what time we're living in, is that. Oh, that little bug. He's getting close, but it ain't a skeeter. I'm happy about that. But he just jetted. He came in, went by my face, and took off. Gotta love this little backpacker, the Thermocell Backpacker 2.0. Excellent, excellent. And I hear this little tank right here. This little tank right here will last like 400 and something hours. And these only last like 4 hours, but I got a bunch of them. You know, when it runs out and I start seeing mosquitoes landing on me, I just put another one, and then it takes like 15 minutes for it to develop the smoke and everything, and then they're gone again for another 4 hours. The first time I fired it up, it lasted like 6 hours. So yeah, so I'm totally puzzled about the meaning of 1111, like if it really has a meaning, or is it really just a sign of the times that we're in. I actually believe that it doesn't have that special meaning that today should I park on the left side of the driveway or the right side of the driveway. I'm leaning towards the left, and then you look at the time, it's 1:01. Okay, it's on the left. I'm going to park on the left. I was right. I mean, I know that's a stupid example, but that's kind of how it doesn't matter what you say about it. I kind of feel like it's that stupid, if you know what I mean. Like, no matter what you're asking it, I don't think it has anything to do with it. I actually believe it is like a sign to you, like happening over and over, and it's been going on like 3 years for me, but not as how often. Like before, I would see it, say, on a Monday, and then I might go 2 weeks before I see it again. But when you see it again, I mean, when you see it, it's rare enough where you stop for a second and go, whoa, that's cool. 1111. Like, I wonder what that means. But then as this year started, it's becoming like multiple times a day. And so much so that I don't take the screenshots like I was. Like, I was all into it before and I was keeping track of it, but now it's happening so often. It's happening when I can't even make a screenshot. You know what I mean? I'm busy and I just glance down and there it is, 11:11 or 1:11 or 2:22 or 4:44. And I can't, and sometimes I'll try, like I'll drop what I'm doing really quick and then run over there and grab the phone, and then it'll turn to 11:12, right? Here comes a fly, he's gonna mess with me. These things the bugs are a trip, but they're not sticking around. I love it. So now we know that the constellations, they're lining up. It's a sign. Israel becoming a nation, it's a sign. Time speeding up, because the Bible says he's going to shorten the days. Like, does that mean shorten them where they go faster? I'm just wondering. I don't know. So we talk about all these things. 11:11, your sign. Like, here's your sign. You're living in a time. You're living in a time. So you're seeing 11:11, 4:44, whatever. But it's telling you you're living in a time. Okay, here's your sign. You're living in a time. It's all lining up with everything else. And then there is another thing that Revelation talks about. And it's birth pangs. The earth will be going through birth pangs. And boy, are we. The sun, which was put there to divide dark and light and also be there for a sign. I don't know if it's all the comets interacting with the sun and the alignments of the planets, how they're lining up. If that's what's causing all this energetic things happening on the sun. But it's freaking popping off like crazy and getting more. And as it pops off and gets more active energetically, like more like magnetically, okay, gravitationally, magnetically, everything's interacting on a way that we can't see. But I think it's like how when you put sand on a piece of paper and then you put a magnet under it and you go like that, and you could see the magnetic field. I think that everything's interacting like that with the sun. And then the sun, which is capable of blowing the earth completely out of existence, is reacting to all this stuff. And is that another sign? Like the earthquakes are going like crazy, the weather freaking off the charts. Even though I did notice something about the weather, we'll go down this rabbit trail for a minute. Have you noticed that, I don't know when it started, but only there's no more lines in the sky? Start looking, start paying attention. There's no more, they were calling it contrails. The people in, us weirdo people that like to speculate on everything, we were calling it contrails, or no, chemtrails. We're calling it chemtrails, right? And their weather modification and all that. And I actually do believe that's what was going on. But I noticed in the last, I don't know, 3 weeks, something like that, there's no contrails or chemtrails. In fact, the clouds looked like when I was a kid running around and staring at the sky and laying out, on a rock in the mountains and looking at the puffy little clouds. It looks like that. It's absolutely a trip. Let me know if you guys are noticing that. In fact, let me know if you guys are noticing the time speeding by, the numbers, and the no chemtrails or contrails, whatever. I don't want to make anybody mad at me, but there's not any now. Like if it was contrails, they wouldn't stop, right? The planes are still flying, so there should be, every day we should see those. If that was normal, we should see them. I haven't seen them in weeks, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month or so. And then when I did see some the other day, I was waiting for my wife to come out of Walmart, and I was sitting outside because I can't take Walmart very well. But I'm sitting out there, and I saw a jet flying by, and it had a little contrail behind it. But as it was flying by, it was disappearing. It didn't stay and then dissipate into a cloud, right? And there wasn't a whole bunch of them either. There was just that one. And then as I sat there, there was another jet coming from another different direction, and it was the same thing. There was a small trail behind him, but it was disappearing almost as fast as he was moving. So that's different. That's different. So I'm like tripping on all this, and I'm kind of coming to the conclusion, and I know I've talked about this, about time. There, no matter how you calculate the Jesus returning, no matter how you calculate, we're at the end of the age. We're at the end of the 6,000 years, getting ready to step into the last final 1,000 year reign of Christ. We're at the end. We're at the end of this, when we're about to step into a 1,000 year reign with Christ on earth. And I want to be there for it. I'm actually looking forward to it. And I also noticed attacks on everything, attacks on my health, attacks on my time, attacks on everything. Like every way that something could annoy me or get under my skin or make my day bad or even my week, it's happening through people. I can't tell you, I can't tell everybody what's going on here, but not only is it attacking me, Everyone's having these hardships financially, health wise, living where they live. It seems like it's like COVID-19 lockdown without the lockdown, right? I mean, like, I don't know what's going on, but everybody I know is in a bad mood. There's not a lot of people that aren't in a bad mood, and then everyone's dealing with something more than I ever uh, noticed before in my life, my whole life. I mean, there's always been hardships in life, but I always could find the smiley person that's doing really well. That's far and few in between. And then if you sit down and they're smiling and they're happy-go-lucky or whatever, having a good day, if you talk with them long enough, you find out they're just putting that on, right? Like I do. I walk around all smiling and nobody knows I'm having any kind of problem. I don't let people, because I don't like being manipulated, right? I don't like people knowing so much about me they can manipulate my feelings or my thoughts or what I say, right? I don't like being manipulated. And so nobody can manipulate me. If they don't know I'm in a bad mood, they can't make it worse or whatever. And if I'm in a good mood and they can't make me in a bad mood, then they didn't, even though maybe I might be raging inside because they are getting to me, they're hitting my hot button, I'm not going to let them know that hot button exists, and they'll go away. And then, I'm not going to let them know. I'm going to smile and be just as happy as can be, but wishing I was hitting them over the head with something. But I noticed everybody's being attacked in different ways, like where they live, where at their work, their finances, their health, all these different things. And I mean, you get out in the world and then there's people going flipping crazy, flipping you off and yelling cuss words at you. I was sitting at the same Walmart after my wife got in the car, and I was waiting to turn, like I was in a parking row, and then the main road in front of the Walmart, I'm going to turn right. But there's people walking by, and that doesn't make me mad. I mean, as soon as they all are clear, I'm going to turn right. And this person crossing from my right to left on the main road starts honking, and when I look over, they're flipping me off and yelling at me. It was like, I didn't even do anything. I'm just sitting there. That's it. Just sitting there with my blinker on. It's not clear for me to move, and it wasn't for probably another 45 seconds to a minute. I don't understand what was going on with that person, but they were not having a good time, and they thought I did it, I guess. I don't know. And something else, on the way home, yeah, Mach 4, yeah. On the way home, I almost hit 4 people. It's like people aren't paying attention. That I see as I'm coming up, I'm in a neighborhood, so I'm not going fast. I think I wasn't even going 20 miles an hour. But the hood was up on this car, and I wasn't even really paying attention to the car. But out steps these 2 guys. They don't even look at me. They didn't stick their head out to see if a car was coming. I missed that guy by inches. And then he looked at me and flipped me off like I did it. I was like, telling my wife, man, this one I might get out and thump the dude, because that scared me. That got my heart racing. Like I thought I was going to hit him. And I go 2 blocks, and there's alleys in the neighborhood, and cars parked all along. And I'm not going any faster than I was, probably almost 20 miles an hour. And out of the alley comes this guy on a bike, like a 10-speed, street bike, pedal bike, but, like a bigger bike. And he goes right out in front of me and then gets in front of me and he's like cruising. He didn't even see me. He did not look. I know he didn't look. And he's just pedaling along right in front of me. And I told my wife, like, this is crazy. And so I started getting in his space, if you know what I mean. Like really getting close. If he would have stopped, I could stop. I wasn't going that fast, but I was gonna, when he realized I was there, I was gonna, he was gonna realize I was close, because that's how close he was when he came flying out of the alley. And that happened 2 more times on my way home. And then I noticed it's happening all the time. People are freaking clueless. Like, what is going on with that? Like, the whole world is going crazy, freaking crazy. And I can't explain it other than, is it the times that we're living in? Did the jab do that to them? Are they freaking brainless now? Is something growing in their brain and now they're not even people anymore? I wish I could write that guy a ticket. He does that every day, about 3 times a day. I'm gonna move up there where BZ's at. I love Idaho. It's freaking awesome. But yeah, so let me know in the comments if this is happening with you guys. How's it going, Bad Boy channel? Hey, I'm gonna have to check out the Bad Boy channel. It's been a minute. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. There's a lot of people around here. A lot. In fact, I'm about to do something about it. It's getting, and it goes to what we're talking about. Like, everybody's homeless. Like, what is going on? And why do they think my house is the place that is a safe place? It's not going to be safe if they keep on invading my space. I am going to revolt, and it won't be safe. And I'm not going to let it be one of those things where you let it build up, and then explode. I won't do that. But I'm definitely going to be like the eagle that plucks the feathers out of the nest until it's so uncomfortable that the baby eagles split. I already started. I've already making them uncomfortable, saying things that makes them raise their eyebrows. But hey, don't you want your own bedroom? Wouldn't you like to have your own kitchen? How about your own bathroom? Like, wouldn't you want to be somewhere where I can step on you in the morning on the way to coffee, and everybody else can too? Like, I don't get it. But only it's happening. Like, hey, why is my driveway so cool that you can park in it and snooze every night? You do know I have security cameras and I watch you make your bed every night. Hey, Shemp Hemp, hello. See, is a homeless population. Man, I'm in California and it's crazy. Although it was really bad, like the alleys that I'm talking about in my neighborhood, it used to be homeless people up and down, like full. You couldn't even drive down the alley, and the garbage trucks couldn't get through. But I think it was when, I'm not sure if it was Washington or Oregon, they had that decision by the judges that a city could actually enforce the homeless thing. You didn't have to tiptoe around them and leave them there, but your city had to be in agreement with it, right? Your government, local government. Well, I think there were enough people in our city, even though they didn't want to enforce their laws that they already had. They didn't have to make new laws. They just had to enforce the ones they have. I think they got pressured because at first they didn't want to, but my city, my city is, hey, you're back already, huh? Or no, what happened? Yeah. Hey, bolt gun. I don't know why it's doing that. Something's wrong. But in my city, they started enforcing it. Not 100%, but from 150 of them down the street to one, one guy or one gal. And I don't know, like lately, as you're driving around the city, you know, they have these strollers. They don't have a baby, but they have everything they own in it, in these strollers. And I've been seeing those abandoned on the side of the road. Some of them are tipped over and all the stuff gone through, probably by the other homeless guy or girl. But I've been noticing, and then they'll sit there 3 or 4 days before it disappears. But you never see the homeless people anymore. There is no homeless in any alley. I don't know where they're sleeping at now. They're sparse. Yeah, strollers and shopping carts over here. And then they have the bicycle with the little kid trailer that, you know, you carry your kid, and they'll have all this stuff piled onto it and hanging off of their bike. And they roll, like down the street from where I live, there's a recycling center. You can take glass and plastic and aluminum cans and stuff like that. So I see them. I see them on my street, or I was seeing them a lot. Like, it wasn't nothing to see one every 10 minutes, really. But now I haven't seen one in 10 days, maybe even 10 weeks, maybe. No, maybe not that long, but you know what I'm saying? Like, rare now. And it's not the daily thing like it was. I know we're in a really weird world. We're in a weird time. I actually believe we are at the end of time. I don't know how long, but I know that there is so many things lining up that even isn't in the Bible, like the 1111 and time flying by. I mean, the Bible didn't say, where maybe it did, I don't know, where the time is just shooting by, flying, like BZ said, Mach 4. I'm saying more like Mach 7, like warp speed 9, right? Let's go, number one. Let's hit warp drive, you know, like it feels like that. Like this morning, I made my coffee and I got on the tablet and was researching some stuff for my wife. Yeah, I don't know where they're at here. I know they're around because you see them every so often. But I made my coffee and was sitting there researching, enjoying it, and it didn't seem like I was sitting there that long. I finished the coffee and it seemed to me like, I don't know, 45 minutes. And it was around, by this time it was around 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning when I got to sit down and do that. And the next time I looked at the clock, it was 1:30 p.m. I was like, what? Like, I know I wasn't sitting there that long. My cup was still warm. Like, something's up, right? Something's up with this. I don't know. And I didn't know if anybody else is having this, but I am. It's almost like Back to the Future or something like that, like 88 miles per hour and 2.1 gigawatts and the whole thing. It's almost like that, you know? Like, you see a whole storyline in a movie in a couple of hours. Well, now my days are flying like that. Yeah, they're assholes. They choose to be there. I used to try to help them here, but I think some of them need to be in a place for people that have mental problems and they are harming themselves and they could harm others. They're a danger to society and themselves, and I think somebody should do something about it. I mean, we used to. I think, man, way back when it was Reagan, I think is when that one went away, right? And it just progressively got worse. Yeah, that's it. Like we're in a science fiction movie. I was even thinking about writing something like a book about it, and it wouldn't be fiction. It would be the real deal, man. Like it wouldn't be fiction at all. What I was talking about, but it would seem like that I'm writing something that's fiction. Yeah, they do, man. It's sad. And I have some family members that are out there, and I already knew they were, 2 bricks shy of a load, or a couple of French fries from a Happy Meal. You know what I mean? Like, I already knew they were, because but only they could fake you out. They could fake out the average person unless you knew them. But once you get to know them, you start realizing they're not all there, right? But they could seem normal and act normal. There's certain points that they'll do that all of a sudden it's like a big red flag warning, like, whoa, this guy is wackadoodle, or gal, wackadoodle. And it's really sad that as a society, I think the media plays it up that we're the weird ones that want to change everything, but the weird ones want it to stay, right? They're saying we're the ones that's wackadoodle. It's overwhelmingly the population wants it like this. You guys are crazy. Like, don't vote for Donald Trump. But only I actually believe that they're pulling the wool. They're using media and messaging, programming to program everybody to think that we should shut up and let these people be the loud person, right? The loud person, the one with the megaphone. Only I'm starting to see that people are starting to wake up. Finally, a lot of us have been awake, but I'm starting to see, as how time is speeding by, I'm seeing people wake up in that kind of speed now. Every once in a while, it seems time is. I could see that, what you're saying, but I don't ever remember it being so fast. Like, I remember when I was in college, and even high school or grammar school or business meetings, and it would be like a 3-hour meeting. It felt like a freaking month. And you had all this time. You could get out of the meeting and go out and have a drink and dinner and still have time in the evening. Now you're freaking running your butt off, and it seems like you missed dinner every single time. And you didn't even have any fun along the way. It just seemed like everything just got crammed together, and you missed dinner, and you're like, dang, again? I missed dinner again? And then you realize you missed it by 2 hours, Wife's like, I put everything away because, it's like, what? Like, not that much time went by. But it has. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that, really, except for that I'm not liking it so much because I'm old. I don't have a lot of time left. I want my time to stretch out a little bit. I'd like to be a big flake for a little longer. I like my face to flake off and my hair to fall out. And like the other day, there was a hair coming out of my nose and it was tickling my eyelashes, right? It was a big old hair, just whoop. I don't know where it came from. It was like, bink. And then I cried for an hour because it hurt so bad when I pulled that hair. I think it came from my ear. That's where I think it came from. It got confused and came out my nose instead of my ear. Yeah. But yeah, when you get old, all kinds of weird shit happens, right? Yeah, I was even telling my wife about that this nose hair was up here, all the way up here. And I first it was tickling my nose up there. I was like, what the heck? I thought it was my long hair coming around. No, it was out of my nose. And I think it was just a confused ear hair because I have those too, and they get out and they're like all weird looking, you know. And you can shave them off, and it seems like 3 hours later they're all back. It's like, wow, what the heck, you know? I'm gonna get some Nair or something and kind of fill my ear up, see what happens, you know. Maybe I should shoot it up my nose too, like I don't know. Kind of tired of that. But if I'm gonna get old and have all that stuff, I want to enjoy some of it. I want to enjoy being old and elderish and wise and, you know, all that stuff that you're supposed to be. That I'm not. I tell everybody I'm like 8. I'm 8 years old. So when you talk to me, if I say something that you think is immature and childish, whoops, I'm 8. And that's how I think. I'm not going to grow up. I'm going to be a Toys R Us kid forever. And I can't help it, right? And I think the older I get, the more I become 8, you know? Yeah, it's kind of weird how that is, you know? Like you get older and then you start acting like a young kid. Chin hairs. Yeah, when I was talking about the hair that was tickling my eyelash, my wife was like talking about her mustache and stuff like that, you know? Like I never even noticed. She goes, you won't because I shave it. You know, it's like, oh. Little did I know, you know. She's like using my trimmer. You know? Yeah, that's pretty funny. Well, guys, I really got to get. I want to enjoy my coffee too. Like I love coffee. We're getting to the time of the year where I can have coffee all day. But I sure enjoyed. I've been wanting to get on here and talk about this for a few days, and just so many things going on around here. I really don't have a place I can set up anymore. Pretty soon I'm going to be driving down to the park and sitting in my car like all of those are weirdo YouTubers, you know. Yeah, this is my 3rd cup. I mean, I had 2 cups early this morning, but then it's about 68 degrees. And I thought, man, this is perfect to have a cup of coffee, you know? Usually I'm sweating and miserable and mosquitoes are biting me. Thank God. Thank God. I'm telling you guys, if you want to get rid of mosquitoes, this is what you want. See that little flame in there? It's a little bitty flame, and this thing smokes through this little pad. It heats that pad up, and that smokes. When it turns white, you need a new one. They last about 4 hours. This thing's about $36 and comes with a little pad. It runs off of butane, regular camping butane, not propane, butane. But it can be propane butane mix. I'm sorry, that's backwards. But this thing, I can't say enough good things about it. I got it from Amazon, and it came in one day, too. But okay, this is how bad the mosquitoes are around here, right? I've gone through 50 cans of this kind of stuff. This is my favorite one. Like, it works the best out of the spray stuff, right? But only when you get it on you, you have to take a shower before you get in bed, because this stuff is nasty. You taste it. It's all you can smell. You're all sticky and everything. And even though it works, I would take a shower and I would come out here, and then immediately I'm spraying that stuff on me and I feel like I need a shower already. This thing right here, since I put this out here, about, I would say almost a month. And I wanted to tell everybody about it, but I want to make sure it worked, you know, because I've tried a lot of stuff. This right here, no bugs, no flying bugs, no flies. Usually there's some flies, and they're all the time until it's too cold for the flies. They come in. I've had, like, there's one that goes over me right now. They don't stop. They don't come and bug me and land on your head in the same place where you're going like that for, you know. or land on your arm, and then you shush them, and then they go back and land right in the same spot, and they drive you crazy. Usually I have mosquitoes all over me, and they'll come up and buzz my face because of the spray. I don't spray my face. So they find my face. If I didn't get some of that stuff right here, I'll get bit right there. This stuff. And I needed something, and one of my friends told me that he's been using this for almost a year. And we were talking, I was telling him, man, I was itching so bad from the mosquito bites. I had like 20 of them just on this arm and a dozen on this arm and all over my face and neck and even through my shirt. He's like, oh man. And he showed this to me and told me, you got to buy these things. They only last 4 hours. I got one to last 6 hours, but I had turned it off and on a couple times. The can, he said this will last 300 to 400 hours with this thing, because it's just a little bitty little flame in there. And it absolutely, hands down, the winner. I will get, then I heard they have some little ones that you can put on your belt, like when you're out hiking and stuff like that. You bet I'm going to get one of those. And it's the same Thermocell. I don't know what they call them. This is the Thermocell Backpacker 2.0. It's about less than $40. Totally worth it. I spent hundreds on this. And then I'm not the only one out here, so everybody is, they come out to talk to me, and they're getting bit, and then they immediately spray it, and you run out of it so fast. I'll buy it like 3 cans at a time, a week, right? Yeah, crazy. But that right there stopped it. And then I'm going to sell this. I was thinking about giving it away, but I have guys and gals, and I think I'm going to sell this. I know all the guys will know what this is. This is a Camillus folding hunter. Beautiful. It's probably 50 years old, made in like early 70s. I don't know if you can see that. I know it's backwards, but it says handmade, sword brand. It's a Camillus, model 26. It's in really good shape. Made in the USA. A lot of knives aren't made in the USA anymore. I don't think Camillus is even in business anymore. The handles are not cracked. It's not real stag. It's Delrin or something like that, plastic. But they're in really good shape for being 50 years old or older. This could have been in the 60s too, I don't know, but I'm gonna sell it. And so and I made this neat little pouch for it out of some old beat up leather. I just don't know how much I want to sell it for. But anyways, that's it for today. I will be back. I'm going to try to drive these driveway homeless campers, family members, don't have anywhere. I heard they have somewhere to go pretty soon, but I don't know. It's been a couple of weeks, and I want my space back, So hopefully I could come back. If not, I'm going to be in my car, and I'm going to go down by the river, and I'll do videos like that, because I really don't like doing that, because so many people do that. They sit in their car and that's their thing. I like sitting outside, and I don't want to drive somewhere. I don't want to sit in my driveway. I don't want to sit at the Walmart, But anyways, you guys, I want to pray for you. I pray right now. I ask. Actually, be healed. Backs, be healed. Cancer, be healed. I command sickness and disease in your body to get out of those bodies. I command the finances, the heavens to open up and your finances to be healed and abundant. Every area of your life be blessed abundantly. Everywhere you go, you will find favor of God on your life, at your job, in your relationship, everywhere you go. In Jesus' name, I thank you, Jesus, for answering my prayers always. Anyways, that's it, guys. Be blessed abundantly in Jesus' name, and I'll see you pretty soon. Yeah.